My boiler failed, and it was in winter.
My boiler was on the fritz, didn't really know what was wrong with it.
We had the hot water heater fail, and I'd always wanted to put in a tankless hot water.
We went from an oil service into a gas service. I have issues already with my oil burner, so it was time to change, and this is just the opportunity.
I needed a water heater changed, and they came right out. It was great.
We had an older, boiler. It was pretty inefficient, and we kind of recognized that.
My father just wanted to get more and more quotes out there. I told him, no, you have to stay with the Addario. You should have stayed with the Addario. You're making me wait. I have no hot water. We can't keep doing this. It needs to be fixed.
We had a hot water heater that was about to be replaced, and our actually heating system was really quite old.
Our heater, went out, and Joe came out, gave assessment.
I got a hold of Addarios, they called me right away. Dispatch was really great, even though it was the same day, they got someone out to me after hours.
I was calling around to find out who does tankless hot water heaters. A couple of people said, this company does it, this company does it, so I called Addario.
They sent out someone to look at the basement and figure out whether or not their water supply and the electrical supply were available.
Literally, I Googled plumbing work, and you guys came first.
When we spoke to Addario, we found that you guys definitely specialize in the more modern equipment, so that was really an attraction for us.
I first heard about Addarios. I was referred to them by a friend, and they were very happy with them, and that's how I ended up starting to use them. I called, and if I recall correctly, they were out in a matter of a couple hours, which was fantastic. Water heaters make quite a mess.
I reached out to them to have that work done, and a representative came out and did a pretty thorough seeming survey of my home. And with that, he could give me a few options.
He was very genuine. He was very professional. He wore a mask and gloves. He took his time, dedicated to it, which I really liked as well. He really actually cared about his job, which was to help us.
Talking to the people that answered the phone they were very kind, and I appreciated the way they talked, and they sent someone out when they said they would. He came out, he looked, he sat down and explained everything to me. I thought he was doing it very professionally, and I like professional. That's one of the things that's important to me.
We start looking for companies, local companies, and pay attention to the reviews and what customers have to say, and we find out that through our research that Addarios have a very good reviews, and so as a result of that, we initiated made the phone calls and the consultation and so on.
Followed up with them about getting a new boiler because it seemed like this is a great place to start with a company that takes customer service seriously. And then Joe Addario came out. He obviously was an expert in his field. He's been in the business since I guess he was like a teenager. Knew a tremendous amount of stuff about everything I was dealing with and what I would need. And I figured that was the company to go with.
When I looked online, I saw some of the work you had done. I saw customer ratings, and also knew that you worked within my area, which I live. And when I reached out to you, the responses were quick and timely. And I felt I wanted to give you a shot to see you deliver a job for us.
Addario's has never canceled on me. They always show up when they say they're going to show up, which is huge. Everybody's time is money, and everybody's time is valuable. If someone's going to tell you they're going to be there at 10 o'clock, I'm waiting for them at 9:55. I expect them to be there at 10. If they tell me that, I understand jobs run over and stuff. But I've never had a single issue. They've never canceled on me.
Was pretty knowledgeable for a number of the questions that I had, and certainly I had questions on whether the replacement equipment would handle the load, how heavily I use hot water. I like the thoroughness of the advice I got. Certainly I got a recommendation on what I should do, but I also got feedback to the questions I had for alternatives. Is the replacement necessary? Could I get by with repair of the existing equipment?
I was really pleased with them. They were very direct, very friendly. They were willing to explain what was going on, which for me is I want to understand what's not working so that I can explain it the next time it happens.
Joe came out, gave assessment, like he squeezed the guys in really quick, like within 3 days, got them out here to install the new burner. Vincenz in the office helped me with the whole application process for the heat loan.
It really wasn't a one-sided conversation as far as I didn't feel as though I was only being sold a new product, a new set of equipment, but I did feel like I came away with a much more holistic view of my situation.
So we went for a double header. We replaced both the water heater and the heating system.
We had looked at a couple of other people who had made offers to us, but I felt that Addario stood out because of the I think the promise and the actual delivery of the services in a very efficient way, and I like the way you presented everything, made it very clear to us. We didn't have many questions at the end of the day, so I felt that you guys definitely won, our hearts as far as allowing you to do the job for us.
Well, I love that you guys text too, that you guys are on your way, so it gets me ready. I was like, okay, they're gonna be here soon. And then that gets me going, because some people just show up whenever they feel.
You get an email from them, you get a customer satisfaction, you get a text message that the driver's about to be there. It's great. So I'm not sitting around all day waiting.
A good reason why we choose it, I think we felt that they were a connection, sort of a personal connection with the salesperson that came to the house. So perhaps that was the ultimate factor. To the fact that we also, we have done some research and we were very impressed with the reviews that we're getting. So
It's very professional, courteous. They look at everything before they even give you a quote. And it's not just one quote. They'll give you options, and I like that.
He was very honest, like really sincere, and that's what I was like, we have to go with this. Like, I had no doubt about it. Everybody else, yes, I did. But Addario, from the beginning, I should have gone with it.
As you can see, this is the end result. It's an amazing looking system, but obviously there's a lot of power behind it, and it really required someone with a lot of expertise to install it. Brian, who's the install person who came out from Addario's, has been awesome to work with. Very responsive to any sort of needs I had and adjustments that I wanted to make. For instance, building this awesome wall behind it to mount everything on and painting it for me so it looked very modern. So it was easy for Addario's to be flexible with me in terms of what I wanted during the installation and making those adjustments so everything worked out.
I showed that basement off, that I showed off to friends. It's so well done. He came in, did it from scratch, took out the old oil, had an old oil tank that was bigger than me. And the furnace was huge. They took all that out, put that up on the wall, the whole system on the wall. It's working so wonderful. I just, like I say, I showed it off to Addario's people that's come to the house for other things.
Always runs really smooth. Addario's is definitely very professional. They stick to their schedule, and I'm on a very tight schedule. If the plumber doesn't show up, that means the electrician can't come back. If the electrician can't come back, now all of a sudden the guy that's sanding on the hardwood floors can't come back, and it's a trickle-down effect. I need people to tell me if they're going to be there Monday morning at 6 a.m. They're there Monday morning at 6 a.m., not on Wednesday.
Every single install that came out here was just awesome. Like, they were very clean the entire time. They did great work. If you look at the pipes, they just look great job. It looks clean, it looks good, and the heat working, and it's a phenomenal job, start to finish.
Just seeing the people that work for Addario's and how much they actually care about their job, that they put the effort in as well as what they do, but then as well to make us happy.
We switched over from a dual system of a hot water heater to a combined system, and has really shown a vast improvement as far as the quickness of getting hot water.
I'm an engineer by training as well as something else, but I was very impressed with the art of putting this thing together. It looks like a museum piece rather than a heating system. Beautiful copper work, quite complicated, but beautifully put together, and with obviously great skill and experience in how to do these high efficiency systems.
And then they installed it, and they installed it in no time. It was really quick. Again, everything was nice and clean. And this involved going through the wall of my house to put the vents outside. And it was just beautifully done. I mean, I've had so many callbacks with different contractors who've made a real mess of things. And this was impressive. I was really pleased that they were able to do it so quickly. I thought the price was reasonable. The guys were really good about explaining things to me. And the work was excellent.
And the guys were spotless, very clean, very informative. Any questions that we have, they were very accommodating. They really were. Very on time. I got nothing but praise to say about the team. They were very good, all of them.
I had Addarios come out, and I had an old school big oil boiler. I had the oil tank. I had everything there, and they came in. They put it in a high efficiency boiler, hung it on the wall. It appeared to me they had built quite a bit of it off site, brought it, hung it. They were there maybe 2 days or so. By the time they were gone, you wouldn't even know they were ever there. Super neat job, and never had an issue with it.
The first job took 4 days, and they never left the place dirty at all.
We've been pretty pleased. We've seen definitely a difference in the efficiency of the system, the cost of energy for us.
I've looked at the efficiency. Interestingly, it is around 20 to 30% more efficient than the old heating system.
Everything is working out perfect. Are you kidding me? Even with the whole process of getting the rebate through the whole Massachusetts incentive program, the offices have been extremely accommodating. They answer many questions that we may have. They sort of take charge of all the process, so they make things quite easy for us.
Everything worked after, no problems. The equipment's working great. The area looks great now. The old equipment had been removed, so it's pretty comfortable with the outcome.
The other thing that I noticed about the people at Addarios is that they leave the place cleaner than the way it was when they started. And that's very unusual because usually contractors leave a mess behind. And so it was kind of nice to go down and say, wow, this is nice and clean. I don't have to do anything.
Well, a couple of things that I liked was that, the oil to gas conversion. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to call National Grid. Addarios took care of everything for me. I basically made one phone call and it was to Addarios. Then they did everything from there on out. They were super neat. They referred somebody to me to get rid of the old boiler and the oil tank and all that. They made it very simple.
I would definitely recommend that if you need work done, do Addarios, especially if you're having any financial problems. They're willing to work around with you and help you as much as possible. I think the time and dedication is just that trustworthy that you can have and believe in them and depend on them. I think that's very important.
Yeah, if someone asked me if they needed a new boiler or a heating system, I'd definitely tell them to reach out to Addarios because I would recommend them first over everyone else because they seem to be, top of their field in terms of being experts and installing things correctly and getting end result that looks really good.
It was built right there in my basement, and it's wonderful work. I've shown it to friends, and I will tell anybody I recommend it highly.
I would tell them definitely, call Addarios. Speak to you guys, open your home, have them come in and take a look. And, at the end of the day, I believe that you will be pleased at the quality of work and the professionalism and the equipment team that you'll be working with, that you'll have no regrets.
Great system. Addarios is obviously competent to put it in. And if you're going to put that kind of money into a system, better to get somebody who knows how to do it.
Yeah, based on this experience, there's no way I wouldn't recommend you guys. 1,000% every day of the week I'd recommend you guys.
Yeah, the quality of work was great. They cleaned up, which is super important. I'm not walking into a mess. Like I said, every time they leave, you didn't even know they were there. And I'm always happy to refer them to a friend. If everybody calls me looking for a plumber, heat specialist, what have you, central air, whatever, I always try to refer them, to Addarios.
Oh, I've told all the neighbors about the service I've gotten, and I've mentioned it to several people in the area. So it's nice, that I'm able to say, gee, I had a great experience with this particular company, and I think you should give them a try when you have a need for these types of services.
No complaints whatsoever. Nothing but praises about the whole team. I wish people will experience, the same thing that we have, and hopefully they can.
I believe that Addarios has been everything that, we were hoping for and more. And that from the entire process, from the beginning to the end, from the sales person that came out, to the office support staff and scheduling staff, to the technicians who installed the system, I believe the level of professionalism and availability and efficiency has been great. And I would definitely recommend you to at least take a look at Addarios when you're getting ready to make a decision on installing a new system.
Taken all together, I'd say I'm pretty happy with service, as you can see by returning to them for those other services.
If any of my friends that also rehab homes for a living, if they ask me for a referral, I always give them Addario's number. I feel very confident doing that. And to my friends that I have referred them to, they've never had an issue as well.
Well, I'm leaving Saugus. I'm selling my Saugus home, and there are Addario stickers on my furnace and on my hot water system, and I am going to recommend that the new homeowner stick with Addarios because the service is so good.
If anybody asks me, if someone said between a 1 to 10 what your company is like, I give you 11. I can't stop. 10 is not enough. I have to go above that. It's just, over the years I've had plumbers, electricians. The workmanship is just very good. I cannot complain about it at all.
I thoroughly enjoy working with the Addarios. They make my life very easy and very seamless, and that's what's important to me. I don't have to babysit them. They come in, they do their job. If they have a question, they call me. Typically, they know what to do. I don't have to watch them. I'm able to go do something else, and they make my life a lot easier.
I felt that not only did Addarios install a system, but they also cared about the customers' satisfaction.
I definitely appreciate the business. I appreciate how flexible, how accommodating they have been with us. I just wish them best and success on the business, because I think they do have a good business model.
Addarios is just so professional. I can't question about it. It's just that gut feeling, that vibe that I have with you guys. It's very straightforward, and you can't doubt that. That's just something you can't change.
Well, I appreciated the quality of the work, and I really do think maybe the thing belongs in a museum rather than a house, because it's a beautiful job.
Keep up the good work. I think the work that Addarios does is superlative, and I think it's reasonable.
I find consistency to be key. They're consistently really good. I never have an issue. They answer their phone. One big thing with the guys in the trades, if they don't want to pick up their phone, they don't. If they don't want to call you back, they don't. Addario's always picks up their phone. It's never an issue, and it's never an issue if I have an emergency. I also own some rental property. I've had issues with tenants having no heat overnight. I've had water main breaks. I've had water heaters go in the middle of the night, and they always get somebody there first thing in the morning.
The workmanship that I've seen from Addarios is just unbelievable.
You guys really saved me, is what I can just really say. You saved everything. I could have, just the fact that I didn't have that hot water. Oh God, I'm emotional. I said this needs to get done. We should go with the Addarios, and finally got convinced you guys were the one, and I'm just happy to, be back to my normal as much life.